Hi.
The entity, an interdimensional almighty being that lures victims from their world into its own through mental manipulation. This artificial plane, known as the Realm, tests the capabilities of the beings within itself during a trial. This entity feeds on the emotions of the trial's participants to maintain its physical self, acting as both a food source and boost of temporary power. The entity brings two classes of specimen into the realm: killers and survivors. Survivors, in teams of 4, work together to repair generators and save each other from sacrificial hooks used by the killer, whom tries to please or satisfy the entity. When reached the third stage of being hooked, survivors are signed away to the entity as it drives on its claws through the survivor's body and rises back into a gate, thus building and making the space we play in Dead by Daylight its own personal environment for dimensional and destination travel. For anyone who wasn't paying attention, it plainly means that everything we experience was created somewhat by the entity's power. Now, these realms where the trial takes place are inhabited by small faunas, more specifically their regional animals, avians or birds, insecta or insects, canines, dogs, equine, horses, all life that shouldn't be but are present in the trials for in-game ambience. However, crows remain the most known and actually functional creatures. Now today I will talk about my theory of why and how the entity would, or would not, manipulate and capture individual animals in a world that was created for its own personal benefit. Hello and welcome to Scientific Video Game Lore. My name is Draven, and enjoy! Crows play a surprisingly large role in Dead by Daylight. To avoid survivors dragging the game on, a system was created by Behavior Interactive to punish little player movement and sluggishness. After a span of 2 to 3 60-second periods, between 120, 140, and 180 seconds, the idle crows begin to give away your position when a player is inactive. These avians hover above the designated person and are visible to any enemies on the lookout. Let's say you're attempting to escape the killer, but accidentally remain in the locker for too long. The idle crows begin to fly overhead, more birds with more time, showing exactly which locker you were in, putting your life in more peril than it already was. Wild crows, with their wide intelligence, are able to build relationships with humans based on repetitive experiences. Studies show that these special birds, with the ability to recognize and memorize human faces, decide whether a human is bad or good, whether to find gifts or harbor resentment against us. So possibly, the entity forced these personal thoughts upon the survivors into the bird's mind through forceful persuasion, remaining a being that opposed with higher up status or more correct beliefs. What if the entity can alter the headspace of those within its worlds? Ambient animals aren't just crows, however. Within the Raccoon City police station, for example, cockroaches and rats roam atop the tile, seeming to be scavenging or avoiding something superior. Vultures in the Dead Dog Saloon, again another bird, and other board-specific creatures, like pigs, and are not always in the best condition. And this establishes that a variety of not-entity useful life forms live in the realm. Vultures are a great addition to the entity's world, with unique features. For example, these birds feed on the decaying flesh of animals as they rot, and because of their unique stomach acids and immunity to certain bacteria, it allows them to consume these meals without effect. Without the immunity, any animal, including the vultures, would develop disease and fall sick. These birds are also very intelligent. So how does the entity do it? Like I stated previously, the entity chooses the people he wants to leave their world. Every single person has a uniquely crafted backstory on how they were quote-unquote fooled. Could this been done to the animals? From a not almighty human perspective, gaining a bird's trust is not easy. First is persistence, holding a schedule, refilling the seed at the same time each day, things like that. Next, putting effort into the actual type of food, perhaps researching the species of bird's favorable type of seed. Then on our list is creating a comfortable environment for them. Then having patience, and respecting nature around them. More specifically, taking time. Time that the entity would not waste just to abduct a feathered friend. I'm running out of vocabulary. And just like that, this similar process would be used to take and gain the trust of a single cockroach. The why doesn't make sense. However, I was looking at this all wrong. You see, the entity doesn't just design these locations, he recreates them. Using the memory of his survivors and killers, the entity fabricates exact locations of where they have been. This theory explains why animals are found in the realm, not tamed creatures that require time, but mere clones, fake imitations that someone might have remembered. It does this to mimic the real world, giving a false sense of safety or comfort, while only waiting to strike. This mimicry deeply confuses the members of the trial. While the killers may be informed on this information, survivors are left blind, forced to navigate around their hometown theater, rebuilt in another dimension. This clone idea would explain every single ambient animal in the realm. Pigs, birds, rats, roaches, Maurice the horse, supposedly belonging to the clown, although I'm not quite done. The Houndmaster uses a vicious canine as a murder companion, presenting us with a visible, mutual bond between the Houndmaster and Snug, or connection between the artist and her dire crows, astral projections of swarming birds that function to blind survivors from a distance, are collectively the most obedient creatures in the whole game to something other than the entity. Do you see how uniform they are? That type of bond would take time and effort, though these birds do have some meaning to the entity. Maybe he's a bird watcher, or maybe he has a thing for their sweet melodies. Oh, right. Why would he make the idle crows a thing? Either way, thanks for offering your time, and have a great day.